These both have a similar design, but the Cloud 3 feels slightly more modern design, but the Alpha, they still have a timeless looking design. Build quality wise, I do think that the Alpha S feel a lot more high quality and durable. However, the Cloud 3 have a very plasticky, hollow feel to them, but they still feel great, and I wouldn't question the long-term durability. And the Cloud 3 headband is much softer and way more comfortable. These both have a sliding clicking mechanism, but they are not even close to the same thing. The Alpha S is so freaking loose that you even sneeze at it, breathe on it, look at it, it freaks out and it loses its position, which becomes very annoying. The Cloud 3 do not have this issue. Neither of them have any swivel. However, they do have this little bit of wiggle room in the headband itself, but it is barely swivel. The yokes themselves are a bit different looking, but almost identical in sturdiness and build quality. However, I do much prefer the way that the Cloud 3 attached the ear cups themselves due to it being metal directly attached, whereas the Alpha S have a plastic cap that the metal attaches to that could break. I haven't seen reportings of them breaking. I don't know how likely it is that they'll break, but it is a possibility. These both have buttons, dials, and switches. However, the Alpha S, the buttons are on the inline control, whereas on the Cloud 3, the buttons and dials are on the headset. What's unique about the Alphas, on headset, the Alpha S have a bass slider on each ear cup with 3 levels, a removable mic, and a removable wire. The Cloud 3 have their mic mute, a volume dial, and no removable wire, and a removable mic. On the controller for the Alpha S is the mic volume, headphone volume, and surround sound toggle. Side note, the wire with the Alpha S is absolutely a nightmare to deal with. It's thick and cumbersome, it wants to roll and tangle, has a mind of its own, it's very heavy, and the controller is giant and also horrible to deal with. I hated the Cloud 2 wire for the same reason, but this one's way worse. Now, on a more positive note, the ear cups and pads between the two headsets are very different. The Alpha has 2 different ear cups. They have leather and they have cloth. The leather is thick, plush, and very deep. My ears do not touch, and the cloth option are just like the leather in size and shape, but are more airy, and it negatively affects the sound quality, removing a ton of the bass. I do not recommend using the cloth ear cups. The Cloud 3 are less deep and less thick, but are soft and plush, but due to not being very deep, my ears do press up against the inside. However, there is a thick pad inside to prevent pain. Build quality, I think the Cloud Alpha feel a bit better, but I think the Cloud 3 are very high quality feeling and look great. The design is a bit more modern on the Cloud 3, and I really like how it looks a bit more. Comfort wise, these are both extremely comfortable headsets. There's no doubt about it. The Cloud Alpha have super deep ear pads, causing my ears to never touch the drivers like I said earlier, and the cushions are soft with a lot of give and less clamp force, so I don't find myself with pressure points. The depth of the Cloud 3 is shallow and clamping force is high, so I get fatigue on my ears after 3 to 4 hours to the point I have to take them off. And the Cloud 3 have a much softer, thicker headband, and being light, I don't find myself getting pressure on the crown of my head. The Alpha S have a much thinner old school headband, and they're a bit heavy, but regardless, I've not had any issue with the headband. In my opinion, comfort wise, I have to give it to the Alpha S. They have less clamping, the deeper pads, and leading to longer, less fatiguing gaming sessions. I'm going to try not to bore you guys with the specs. I'm just going to tell you what you need to know. The Cloud 3 are a bit unique. They have an angled 53mm driver and can run at 24-bit audio. The Alpha S have a dual chamber 50mm driver, which is also quite unique. The Cloud 3's mic has a fat 10mm driver with a really good frequency response. The Alphas have a bi-directional mic with not much information about it. These both have software support called the Ingenuity software with EQ, side tone, DTSX, spatial sound, toggle mic, volume, and a headset volume. These both can be used without the USB sound card through a 3.5mm jack, and use the mic if it's plugged into a combo jack. It's time to test out the mics. You are now hearing the HyperX Cloud 3 headset microphone. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys personally think of the headsets, which one you prefer. Also, I wanted to shout out all the members right here. You can also become a member at as low as $2 a month and help support the channel. I greatly appreciate it, but hey, next microphone. This is now the HyperX Alpha S headset microphone. Not quite sure how I feel about this microphone, but let me know what you guys think down below. And also, if you're interested in anything we talk about today, I do have affiliate links down below at no extra cost to you, but it helps me a ton. Anyway guys, back to the video. And that's how they sound. I really do think that the Cloud 3 sound pretty damn good. So sound quality, in my opinion, the most important thing next to comfort. I really don't think the sound quality is cut and dry. One's better than the other. I think that these are different sounding headsets, and I'm going to tell you which one I prefer for 2 separate genres. So let's get into it. When it comes to soundstage, the Alpha is a decent bit wider than Cloud 3, but these both have a decent soundstage with enough room to breathe. Bass response is where these have a huge difference. The Alpha S have a lot more bass than the Cloud 3. I think the Alpha in comparison feel too bassy and bloated, where I felt the Cloud 3 was punchy and deep, but more neutral and controlled. Higher end stuff, I felt the Cloud 3 had a great high end clarity, except sometimes it was extra crunchy. Noises like high end of a shotgun shot or glass shattering, it can be a bit overwhelming and fatiguing. I really truly noticed this with Dragon Age Inquisition with certain abilities, and when you destroy Wrist, it's so crispy sounding that it's annoying. But then it started cropping up in other games like Cyberpunk, Nier Automata, and Skyrim. The Alpha S is the total opposite, could use a bit more high end, but yet is still clear and detailed in the higher end. When it comes to footsteps, I think that the Cloud 3 land in that sound range really well in comparison, where I think that due to the more focus on low end, the Alpha S don't emphasize footsteps as much. I do think that the Cloud 3 have great directional awareness for competitive games, and the Alpha S come close too, but I think the Alpha S are much better suited towards RPGs and games that aren't so competitive where you need pinpoint directional awareness. The bass can, however, be tweaked with the sliders on the headset, but I just don't notice much of a difference when I do that. I think for immersive titles, the Alpha S shine pretty bright, but so do the Cloud 3. If you play a lot of RPGs and single player games, you might love the Alpha S. It's got a wider soundstage and wide frequency response, but doesn't hit the higher frequency quite as strong as the Cloud 3, and the Cloud 3 don't hit the bass as hard as the Alpha S. But if I'm going to go off of detail alone, the Cloud 3 have more, and if you play a lot of competitive games, I would go towards the Cloud 3. Although, if you play a lot of single player RPGs and immersive sims, I'd go with the Alpha S. However, if you like to play both, I'd still go with the Cloud 3 due to the versatility, and they are my preferred sound. I like the neutral sound signature with a bump in the lows and highs, kind of like a more neutral V shape. I do wish that the Cloud 3 didn't sometimes get so ice picky in the higher end, which is why I still think for RPGs, the Alpha S are just better. But if you want to know my in-depth thoughts on the Cloud 3 alone, you can go right here and check out my review where I go a deep dive into the headset. And also, if you want to check the pinned comment, I'll have a review for the Alpha S versus the Cloud 2 if you're curious about that. Anyway guys, thank you for every single one of you members. I appreciate you. They're all right here. Anyway guys, peace out. Have a good one.